Intensity ratcheted down a little bit at practice today. Gibby doesn't want to be called Gibby. Jason Wright puts the name debate to rest for now, and a Jamin Davis court update. All on the Daily Commanders update for Thursday, 3 August, 2023. Let's go. Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the Daily Commanders update here on Ref the District and on the Believe Network. I am the Stoner. Got a lot to get to today, so let's not waste a whole lot of time. But first, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and notification buttons. We appreciate all of your support. Now that we're on Believe, you can find us in so many different places. Wherever you get your updates from us here on Ref the District and all our content, just keep doing it. We appreciate all of you. Okay, let's get right to it. Listen, the practice vibes were a little bit more mellow today. Although if you were a fan, you went out there, there were plenty of people that you went out there with, as I'm going to show you here. First of all, there was about 5,000 folks at practice today. So the fans were ready for another big practice. That's a lot. That's from Rick Snyder's Washington at Snide_remarks on Twitter or X, whatever it is. So you can see the fans still coming out. Doesn't matter what kind of practice. If they're allowed to be there, they're going to be there. So that was pretty cool for the fans to be out there in full force again today. They just don't quit. That's for sure. But yes, the intensity was down just a little bit today. No pads. They had 2 straight days of pads, and the intensity was really high. Yesterday was about a 2.5 hour, almost 3 hour practice in full pads, everything, fans. It was what you like training camp to be. But today, no pads, still had fans. Although the fans were told no videotaping and putting it out on social media. That happens. We had that happen to us last year. Said, look, you can't put it out there. It's just one of those days where they're probably installing some things on the offense and that they don't want to get out there. It's really hard to control, but just do the team a solid. Don't put any of the stuff out there if they don't want you to. You don't want to help the other teams gain an advantage on the Commanders, right? So yeah, just follow those rules. It was only about 90 minutes today. It was like a glorified walkthrough today. They were going about half speed, 3/4 speed. And what they were doing is the ones were playing against the twos. So the ones on offense were playing against the twos on defense. And then the twos on offense were playing against the ones on defense. But again, they weren't going full speed. They weren't hitting. A lot of run plays and everything. And when we get to our Sam Howell tracker here in just a second, then in just a minute or two, we'll tell you how Sam did today. So there wasn't a whole lot to report in terms of on the practice field, but we always have our Sam Howell tracker. And so it's been about a week. It's been a little bit more than a week of training camp. So I wanted to share with you the poll that we put out about a week ago on our community page, on our YouTube channel. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to pull that poll up here real quick. Right there, shablang, shablam. Should see the poll right here now. And we asked 4 days ago, what's been the most impressive part of training camp? And we gave the crowds / fan experience, Emmanuel Forbes showing out, Chase Young seems to be his burst returning, or Sam Howell's comfort as QB1. And the crowds / fan experience has been the most impressive part. After 603 votes, they got 54% of the vote. So you guys and us, we can all agree. The biggest, most impressive part of the entire training camp has been the crowds and the fan experience. So, just wanted to point that out. I got to go back to this other screen. There we go. So a lot of stuff was kind of happening off the field a little bit. So let's talk about those things. First of all, our guy, Antonio Gibson, he says, and we're going to show the video here in a second, he says he doesn't want to be called Gibby. Wait, what? That's a natural nickname for Gibby. But instead, this is what he said.
I need you to make a post. Tell them to stop calling me Gibby. I don't know where they get that from. Get AG, Tony, anything but that. Gibby is not it.
He said Gibby is not it, or he said Gibby ain't it. So you can call him AG, you can call him Tone, but don't call him Gibby. We've been calling him Gibby for 3 years. It's kind of like, I guess, maybe since he doesn't want to be seen as a running back, he wants to be seen as a wide receiver. Now he wants to be known as AG or Tone instead of Gibby. That's hard. That's what you naturally do when you call guys by their names or whatever. You usually just add a Y to the end of their name. I used to be Stoney, but now I'm Stoner. My last name is Stone. So I get it. Understand. We'll start calling him AG or Tone, but man, it's going to be hard to change that. Another big thing off the field. The name debate has raged on and on and on. However, Jason Wright said on the Up and Adams show with Kay Adams, said, let's just put that to rest. This is what he said. Basically, he said, here are the 3 priorities. And then at the end, he says how the name is not a priority, but let's watch that here.
That Josh has communicated to us and to the public is 3 big priorities. First one is winning on the field.
Yes.
And so even today, he's having discussions with coach around the investments that are needed around the players and the facilities and all of that to make us championship
He's personally
caliber.
doing that. He's here doing that.
Yeah, he's here today, talking with coach, walking and talking with coach. They have an investment mindset. Second is investing in the fan experience. And so making good on some of the promises that we've had for some time to do things like this, to make training camp a professionalized environment as one that's worthy of our fans, with local food trucks and great food and a team store and all of that. Vibe. Doing that at FedEx Field. And then the third one is to have impact in the community. This is where Josh and Marjorie were both here today, and she's been deep in engagement with our community relations team and our charitable foundation to revamp how we invest in the areas. And we've done some good stuff over the last few years, but they're ready to supercharge that. Those are the 3 big priorities. Everything else we will get to in due time.
So it's not being talked about.
Those are the 3 things.
The name change not on the plate right now.
It's not. It hasn't been a topic of conversation this week.
So basically, let's put that to bed until, I don't know, next year maybe at the earliest. The name's not going to change. It's not a topic. It's not in their top 3 priorities. They haven't even talked about it. So name change off the table. All right, a couple more things. First of all, let's talk about an injury that was reported today, and that is that defensive tackle David Bada, who is part of that international program, which means he has like a roster exemption on the team, so they can carry one more guy on the squad during the year. He was that guy the last couple of years, although he went up and down from the practice squad and such. But he tore his triceps muscle Wednesday in practice. So let me bring that up here real quick. Sorry about that. Let me add that to the stream. Yeah, so this is from John Keim, John_Keim on Twitter. Defensive lineman David Bada tore his triceps in practice Wednesday. He's being re-examined. Doesn't look good. Torn triceps is one of those things that's probably going to end his season. We'll see what happens. He's going to get reevaluated, re-examined, meaning a second opinion. But unfortunately, he's probably done for the year. Now, he's a backup defensive tackle. Again, I talked about he kind of bounced practice squad on and off. So it's not a big name, but he's a depth piece. He was actually playing really well. Got a lot of praise from defensive line coach Skanina. It's hard to pronounce his name because it's such a crazy looking name. But yeah, Skanina said that he's been a valuable member of this defensive line. So unfortunately, he's probably going to be lost for the season. All right, it's time to get to the Sam Howell tracker. This is the biggest, the most popular segment of the Daily Commanders update. It's very controversial. And so this is for our guy down here, Gibbs Old School 2574. He hits us up pretty much on every video and has a problem with our tracker because he said it should be an offense tracker rather than a Sam Howell tracker. Well, it's a Sam Howell tracker, and we say what goes. Mr. Gibbs Football Old School. Sorry, I'll get your name right. He is a very faithful viewer of our stuff. Gibbs Old School 2574. We always appreciate you checking us out. He said this should be a Sam Howell tracker. I mean, an offense tracker, not a Sam Howell tracker. But this is a Sam Howell tracker. This is what we got going. So what are we going to do for today? What are we going to put on there for today? We got our red and we got our green for our good, not good. Listen, all the reports were today that they were, as I said earlier, half speed, 3/4 speed. Ones were going against twos, so he was going up against second team offense. That doesn't matter when it comes to our tracker. That doesn't matter. It's not relative to what happened during that day. Did he have a good day or did he have a not good day? Well, I regret to inform you that I'm going to go against my usual what I do, and we're going with he had a good day. He had an excellent day. By some accounts, he may have had his best day of training camp so far. So things are trending in the right direction. That's the marker. That's not me. I'm not doing anything. So we're going to go August 3rd. Can you even see it? All right. We're going, and we're going to make a star out of that because it was his best day of camp so far based on all the reports. We're not out there, so we can't see it with our own eyes. All we can do is read between the lines of what all the beat reporters are saying. And some didn't beat around the bush today, and they just said this might have been his best day of the year. So he gets the green mark. And then our last subject to talk about today is the Jamin Davis situation. This report just came out. His court hearing for today, he was at practice. His court hearing for today just concluded. And basically, let me give you real quick. He had the 114 miles an hour in a 45. They went to court to resolve it. The state, the prosecution, the state's attorney, and Jamin Davis's attorney, they had a plea deal of what was going to happen. All right. And here's what they had decided. This was last week when Jamin missed practice. And this is from Nikki Javala from the Washington Post. Give her a follow. She's a fantastic beat reporter for the Washington Post. This was the plea deal today that was very similar to last week, which was 8 days in jail, at least 4 served. Of course, the 6 months mandatory suspended license, supervised probation for 12 months or longer, $2,500 fine, and 114 hours of community service, another driving course, and an essay on reckless driving. That's what they brought to the judge today. Last week, they brought something very similar. They agreed on it, but the judge said, no. That's not good enough for what's going on here for a 114 and a 45 in an area where people are walking around at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So they said, come back next week, work on it, come back next week. So this is what they brought today. And the judge said down here, you see in the original tweet, he would not consider it on the basis it wasn't substantially and materially different from the last one. So they set another hearing. So now Jamin Davis is going to have to go back to court again on August 31st. So this is not resolved yet. This is something that is going to hang over Jamin. It's hard to say. Is it a big deal? Kind of. Was there any consequences to what he did? No. Did anybody get hurt? Anything like that? No. But you can't let this sort of behavior and this pattern of behavior that he has, having been in this situation twice before, you can't let that slide. So that's why I think the judge is being a little bit more difficult and stern on this, that it's got to make an example out of them, that it doesn't matter that you're a celebrity, that you're $1 million football player. You have to obey the law like everybody else. And if you don't, there are stiff penalties for that. So in that respect, 114 and a 45 is insane. So there has to be repercussions for that. But there really isn't. Luckily, thank goodness, there are no victims in this particular crime, if you will. So, all right. So that does it for today's Daily Commanders update here on Ref the District. Again, make sure you check out all our work. Check out the Believe Network. Man, they have some fantastic content creators all over the place, even here in Washington. The Believe in Commanders with Brian Murphy and Anthony Armstrong. They do a fantastic job covering the Commanders as well. We're partners with them. We're not in competition with them. So check them out as well. And of course, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification buttons. We've got big things coming the rest of this year or the rest of this month that we're going to be letting you all know about. So appreciate all of you. And of course, until next time, be a fan.